Hello, Feed the Beasters. Today we're going to be taking a look at ME. So with automation, what we did before is we looked at Steve's factory manager. Well, we've kind of moved past that, so now we're going to work on ME. Now, as you can see, I have an extensive system built. It took me a little bit of time, but we got it going. We have cobblestone being stored in deep storage. We got a couple ME systems going on here. We're now looking at using an ender chest, all kinds of goodies. So let's get you guys there. So what we need to do is we need to work on getting a couple of basic things done. What we need right now is an ME terminal, or a controller. So let's go ahead and grab one of those. And if you don't know how to make an ME controller, the NEI system is really good at helping you out. So let's start out with at applied Energistics, because that's what we're going to be working on. Is your ME controller, and as you can see, you got your sky stone you had to cook up, pure flux crystals that you had to throw into the pond and wait. Then you got your engineering processor. So you'll also need a couple inscribers. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get our ME going and standing, and we're going to work on automating the first thing, which is going to be these processors, because these are the most annoying things to get going here. So we got ourselves an ME controller. Next thing we're going to need to do is probably get ourselves started on, I'll just take some dense ME cable. I like using dense ME cable because it shows the channels that we're utilizing, because you're only allotted so many channels per side of these controllers. As you can see that I'm using dense ME cable to connect up all these drives. Well, because as you can see, dense ME cable gives you 17 of 30, well, it gives you 32 channels to work with, whereas regular smart cables only give you 8. So let's kind of give you a heads up, but we'll get more into that. So we also need is a drive bay. So this, once again, now you're starting to kind of see the trend. I need 2 engineering processors for that. So I'm going to go ahead and just use my auto crafting. But to make the actual engineering processors, you're going to need diamond. You're going to need some printed engineering. Is that a circuit? Yeah, and then you're going to need, then in order to combine it, you're going to need some silicon. And silicon can be made by pulverizing sand. So I'm going to go ahead and just get that started. Now, let me just go ahead and show you what's going on and show you what we're going to build, kind of Tarantino a little bit. We're going to build this right here. We got, here's where it's the actual inscriber is going to actually put together all of the, this is actually going to put together all of the processors. These are just going to make part of the processors. You see I have it all connected up. This particular kit itself will take about 8 channels just by itself. This will take its own separate number of channels, as you can see. So anyway, so let's go ahead and get started on going with that. So we have so hopefully got ourselves enough. No, we don't have enough ME cables. So let's go ahead and do. So the reason why, for the sake of speeding things up, that's the only reason why I'm using a lot of the auto crafting. Don't worry, we'll get you guys there. The NEI will help you out with as far as getting your cables made and so forth. So here we go. In fact, I'll hold on to that so we can use that in the future. So now we have our ME controller, ME drive. Now what we need is, well, there's 2 things that we want to get started on. Is we want to get ourselves our ME terminal, and we want to get a pattern terminal. So this is a pain in the butt, once again, as you can see. Now you're starting to see why we want to automate making these processors, because this can be a painful process. We're going to actually just take the ones that I have already for the sake of speeding things up. And look at that, I already got some patterns. Okay, excellent. And don't worry, because I don't have those panels up, I can't access my ME system. That's okay, because I have a wireless system. We'll get you guys there too, so don't you worry. We'll go ahead and set up a tesseract as our power source, because you're gonna need power. So let's go ahead and dive into here. Set up an ME system in the mansion. So this just looks as good as any. So first thing I want to do is erect a power source of some sort. So it's going to be very important. I have this tesseract. I'm going to use that as my power source. Receiving. Let's go with that. And don't worry, I'll show you the benefits of using tesseracts with your ME. It's going to be awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and place our controller down. Notice it's being powered now. You notice it's using 1600 RF. Not too important right now, but you'll see later down the road as we get further and further with expanding the system, you'll see how power can be a problem, so on and so forth. So now we'll go ahead and put our drive system. Let's just, I don't know, we could just probably shove it on top there. And notice it's not online. There's no way to access it right now. So what I'm going to do, put that there. Excellent. And then we'll just extend that out, because then what we'll do, put our pattern terminal there and our crafting terminal. And notice, boom. Now we don't have any storage in our ME. So let's get that started here. Nice. A little glitchy, but that's okay. So normally you're going to start out with is probably like a 4K start 4K of storage. We're just going to pull a couple of drives out of my system here just to kind of keep things moving along here. To make drives, once again, it's going to be something that we're going to want to get into. If you need more of a detail and how to put together an ME system, Clobberstomp has got a very good one. I know there's a lot of people in the YouTube community that's got a very, very good walkthrough. I'm trying to get you guys to automation, and that's more of my focus. To create the ME system, that could take time, and and I do apologize. If there is more requests on how to build the stuff individually, I can definitely walk through that. So right now, I don't have anything in my system at all whatsoever. So let's go ahead and get some items to throw in there. We'll throw some cobblestone in there. Not that you would want to, but we'll throw cobblestone in there. And as you can see now, we're holding one type of 63 possible types in our system here, because I'm using a 64K ME drive. Now the 4Ks, I'm going to have to admit, you're going to fill those up quite quickly if you tie them up to a quarry and don't have any deep storage, but that's down the road. So I'm just going to give you guys a heads up. Plan on putting together some deep storage. I'm going to show you how to put that together with your ME system, because we're going to assume that you guys are starting out with just a fresh ME system here, or a fresh setup here. So Now what we need to do is we need to get started on our automation. We want to put together something to be able to automate the creation of these those processors. And like I said, we're gonna have to probably what we'll have to do is we'll have to start putting together our inscribers. So I'll tell you what, I'm gonna grab this. Takes that offline. It's okay. Because from the wireless controller you cannot craft. So you probably noticed the floor is missing. That's because I'm in the middle of upgrading the floor. All right. So now we got ourselves, now we can get back into our ME system. So right away what we're going to want to do is make a couple of ME interfaces. Now the ME interface, I choose using the full block because I can power we can power things that are connected to it. They're like the inscribers. So look at this. I have to make 5 of them. As you can see, this would be a tedious task if I had to keep onesie twosie in these things. But because I have the automation set up, I'm going to go ahead and tell it to automate that. Don't worry. Once again, we'll get you there. I'm just getting you guys, if anything, I'm getting you guys all excited about getting to that point where you're automating everything. So while that's cooking up a couple of interfaces, let's go ahead, look up how to create a inscribers. We're going to need a couple of sticky pistons, flux crystal, and some iron. So we do have enough. Oh no. It's okay. Let's throw that back in there. 2, 3. So go back. We're gonna use up our pure flux. That takes time. We're gonna actually, here we go. Oh no, we need like 2 more. Burp. Alright, let's try this one more time. Alright, so now we got our 5 inscribers. These are interfaces. Interfaces are not done yet. Let's go see what's going on. Oh, here they are. So we have 5 interfaces. So what we're gonna need is we're gonna need some export buses. So as you can see, I don't have any ME export buses. So let's do that. So here's the ME export bus. Or actually no. Need the import bus, because what we're going to do is we're taking in items to our ME system. So we're going to need 5 of those. Oh, look at that. 5 sticky pistons. That's probably something I'm going to have to try to automate as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excellent. And an annihilation core. Yeah, probably. Oh, look at that. It ran out. That's all right. Oops. Now these are made in sets of 2, so that's why right away I just did 4. You'll see that all of a sudden I think it'll show up like it'll show up 4, but you saw that item's only going to craft like There we go. All right, good deal. Got our ME smart cable, the export bus. Now, ironically enough, we don't have we need inscribers, the actual plates themselves. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to need 5 blocks of iron because I'm going to make copies of the iron block of the actual inscribers. So let's go ahead and make copies of our inscribers. Now, hopefully you got an awesome buddy on the server who can hook you up with these inscriber presses. As you can see, it's exporting them right away. Because what's going to happen is you have to go around the world and try to locate all of those presses, and that could be a bummer. So now we have a copy of each press. So I'll do that. Now, I do have to warn you, each one of these take its own particular material. So we'll start with silicon. Silicon will go with the inscriber silicon press. That's easy. This logic press is going to use gold. So gold for the logic. This engineering press is going to use diamond. So as you can see, that could be pricey. And the calculation press is going to use pure Soartex crystal. So you see how that kind of gets put together. And as you see, I don't keep very much of it because we go through a lot. You'll go through a lot of gold and a lot of pure Soartex when you start making all kinds of things like drives and that. So let's go ahead. All right, excellent. So let's go back. Notice our drives are off because it's not connected to our machine. Something to think about when you're designing your ME system is you might want to consider, like I did, is dedicating lines to your drive system so they're not offline and you're running a Corey and all of a sudden your Corey stops or explodes, for that matter, trying to shove stuff into your ME system. So let's go ahead and let's just run system. We'll just come out the back here. Let me get that. Now I'm going to use the dense ME cable. You do not have to use dense ME cable, but like I said, keep in mind you're gonna have to try to remember that you're not gonna have enough channels to be able to run an entire line if you don't have enough channels. You'll start shutting stuff down like you're late on the cable bill. So stack those. Notice those are powered up. Problem. So kind of do the same thing here. And like I said, you can design your ME system any way you want. I'm just doing this just for the tutorial here. But you guys can definitely do whatever you like. And if anything, show off how you're setting it up. I mean, everybody learns some way or another, and they get very excited, and so on and so forth. So, as you can see, these logic presses need the appropriate inscribers, so forth, in there. So, what we're going to do is we're going to start with the basic setup here. And let me go ahead and slap these export buses. Now, you're going to want to slap them right in the front there, because that's primarily where they're gonna get sucked out of. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. It's actually sharing. Good deal. Because if I take one down, you notice that thing is taking up 4 channels. And we'll leave it like that just for whatever to be fancy. So now what we're going to do, let's go ahead and shove our logic press in there. So notice it takes, remember it takes gold. Boom. Oh, where'd it go? Oh no. It's in our ME system. Yay! Rejoice. All right. Silicon. Boom. Bam. Suck it. So, and you notice these things take forever. So, what I have done, and you could do this as well, is put acceleration cards on these things. So, now each one of these takes 3 accelerator cards, so it can speed up the process of producing the items within the inscriber. So I'm actually going to go ahead and craft, let's see, we have 12 plus the 3, so we're going to need like 15 of these. And because these are crafted at 2 at a time, so we'll just go ahead and just type in 16. Tell it to go ahead and speed it up. So we have the inscribers, we have all the inscribers placed in their systems. We know it works because once we made the chip, it sucked it out, shoved it in our ME system. I got 1 of each. Excellent. Now, so with our pattern terminal, we're going to shove our blank patterns up in this corner. It used to be kind of like the Mac system. We used to have that pattern terminal. You had to go down here and blah blah blah. Well, we're kind of just gonna use this the same way with applied Energistics 2. This is kind of the way you go. So you need a pattern terminal. You need patterns to shove in there. Now you can see if we wanted to craft, say, like this, you got your question mark, shift, click, and bam. You know, it would, okay, you can go ahead and make that, providing you have the things, and then you just go ahead and boom. Because we're creating an item, you're going to have to change your processing pattern from crafting pattern to processing pattern. Because what you're going to do is we're going to say the result is going to be a printed calculation circuit. But to do that, you need to grab 1 pure Certus crystal from the ME system. Boom. And notice how it says, well, I'm going to make a printed calculation circuit with 1 pure Certus quartz crystal. Excellent. I'm glad you can do that. Now if you hold shift, look at that. It shows you what that pattern was rather than the mystery of whatever the heck you were doing. So let's see. Is this? Nope, that's the silicon. Nope, that's the logic. Nope, that's the engineering. Well, process elimination says that's our calculation press. Are we going to make a calculation? Yes, we will. So, guess what? Goes into that interface. Boom. You notice it shows what it's going to make. So, if I were, let's say, take away the calculation, notice now, boom. Craft me a calculation circuit. All right. Just make me 1. Oh, this is what it's going to cost, but I need CPUs. Oh no, I know. So, we need, let's see if I have any sitting in my system. No, we don't. So, we need to make what's called a crafting coprocessor. And we'll just make 2 of those. Yeah. But with that, you also need to put memory on there, storage itself. So I'll go ahead and make 1 of those. Once again, because everything's jacked up, I'm going to go ahead and make a 64K storage. Oh no, I need more pure Certus. So what I'm going to do is I just went ahead and stole a couple of memory blocks from my existing system. So I got 2 right here. So these blocks can be built it's kind of like the drives. You got your, it all depends on what you throw in there. The storage component could be 16K, it could be 1K, up to 64K. Do realize it will take memory to craft things. So notice I'm all willy-nilly crafting things because I have so much memory put in here. I can almost tell it to craft a billion things, and it's usually, okay, you know, I'll do it. So now that I got, well, 120K of crafting storage and 2 CPUs, now normally you wouldn't build something like this. Look at that. As you can see, 9. So that's the 1 channel going to this. You can stack this as high as you want. Put as much memory and processing to the ceiling. But remember, this is considered 1 CPU. So now I say 1. It'll ask me, oh, I don't have enough items. All right. So, boom. Now I have the proper items to be able to craft. So now I could say next. It'll say CPU automatic. Otherwise, I could specify 0. And it tells you how much storage is available. So in case you're questioning, oh, what the heck? You know, it'll tell you what it needs as far as how much storage. Depending on how complicated your processes are, it will determine how much bytes used. This simple plan will just take 27 bytes. But if you need something like this advanced solar panel, for instance, you'll see I need 3,812. So it'll tell you, oh, I need, that's like at least 3 blocks of memory almost. So just kind of give you an idea of how much, you know, why you need the storage on there. That storage determines how much it can process and how complicated it can be. The processors also determine how many steps it can take care of at once. You know, don't have anything too complicated. Go ahead and hit start. So what it's going to do, it's going to go ahead and go through. Where is it? What's the last one? It went through and already created that already. Okay, so yeah, looks like it made our printed calculation circuit. Boom, excellent. So we all know that works. And we'll just go high, put our ME interface, put our inscribe right below it. I know this looks ridiculous, but what we're doing is we're just going to go ahead and satisfy the requirements this way. So we got our import bus, items that we have created. In the back, exporting of our redstone. Oops, what was I thinking? Bump. So look at that. Redstone. And then we'll go ahead and set up. So now what we're doing, we're going to tell it that we want you, the system, to make one of these and shove it right in there. So we need our crafting card, and we're at printed silicon, and the behavior is use stocked items or craft items while exporting. And what it should do, boom, perfect. That's exactly what we wanted. Bravo. Did I ever get those acceleration cards? Yes, I did. So I'm gonna go ahead and put 3 of them in there. So I'm just sake of speeding things up. So now we have 1 calculation processor. Good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to say, we're going to craft a pattern that says printed calculation circuit equals calculation processor. What that thing is going to say, oh, okay, well, all I got to do is shove a printed calculation circuit in there. But because this system is aware of how to make said circuit, it knows now the full gambit of how to create the calculation processor. So you got to kind of think of it small steps. You almost got to make a pattern for every single little thing that you're doing when it comes to automation. So you got to start with the basics, right? I need to make just the basic item in order to make this. But you also have to manipulate it a little bit, because we had to tell it to automatically create our silicon and shove it down below. We also had to tell it to export a piece of redstone into the center. So from the top, you'll see it's going to drop our calculation processor, our printed calculation processor from the top. So as you can see how it logically looks, kind of like how it does inside, right? Silicon in the bottom, redstone in the middle, your particular circuit that you're trying to make on the top, and then shove it out the front, boom, into our ME system. So we're going to kind of do just that with the rest of these. So we're going to tell it to, we're just going to shove, now first we have to manually do it just because, okay, that's just paying our dues. We need this to be able to make the way how to, and you see how fast it was? Those acceleration cards are amazing. So what we now is you say, well, oh, by golly, we need to make one of these. All right, go ahead. Because our end result is the engineering processor to start out with. So now we're telling you need to shove this into the printed or into the inscriber in order to make this. Righto, Captain, here we go. Same thing with our logic. Now, do you think we need to make one for the silicon? No, because we're not making anything with silicon. We're not, silicon can't make a silicon. It doesn't make sense at all. So we tell it shove that into the logic press. Okay, shove that into the logic press, and boom. So now, go up high, and now we have completely automated a way to make these processors. So now, if I need anything with one of these processors, what you'll find, you'll need a processor here, processor there, processor there, processor there. By golly, you've now taken the most tedious task and automated it. Now look, hey, I'll tell you what, you can tuck this away like I have, and you could now say, all right, now this is how I'm going to make circuits. Boom. And I'm going to use, and remember, the use of acceleration cards will help speed things up. So you've now gotten a quick tutorial on getting started with ME. Next is going to be learning how to use external storage like deep storage, and we're going to start learning how to cook things for ore processing, because that's going to be two things that you're going to run into when you start getting into quarries. Otherwise, thank you very much. Hit the like button. Tell me how I can improve. Don't tell me I suck without saying something about what I can do to improve. If it's about being prepared, well, that just sucks. This is all part of the fun of doing YouTube. All right? Thank you very much.